Hiya, Noni. You snuck in on me. How are you guys doing? There's a whole whopping two, three of you. There's only two now. Oops. Right? So I say you wasn't there, and then after all that, you showed up. I was thinking about you. I needed to message you. I didn't know if you had heard about the tox results on the next Benedict case. I think it was supposed to actually be released today. And I've been a little out of it, so I haven't had a chance to look to see if they are. Let me see real quick. See if anybody else shows up while we're waiting. Hi, Doodle. Hello, MIA. Is it MIA or Maya? Or both? Okay, so, oh, you hadn't heard anything. Okay. When the toxicology came back, they determined that their death was a unaliving. It says the summary report concluded the combined toxicity of two different medications, I always have a hard time saying this, diphenhydramine, an allergy medication, and fluoxetine, an antidepressant, was the probable cause. There were massive amounts of allergy medication, more commonly known as the over-the-counter as Benadryl, found in their blood, according to an expert who reviewed the medical examiner's report. Yeah, so apparently between the Benadryl and the excessive fluoxetine, let's see, what else does this report say? Says Dr. Paul Wax, the executive director of the American College of Toxicology, who reviewed the toxicology report at KTUL's. Here, I'll just show you guys the screen. Goodness. That way you can see what I'm. Yeah, that screen. Okay. Who reviewed the toxicology report at KTUL's request, said Nex would have to have taken a lot of pills to get the level of concentration found in the blood. You can't say for sure if it was 50 pills or 100 pills, Dr. Wax said. They found trace amounts of other drugs, but it's a very tiny concentration, so that didn't contribute to their passing. Tests to check for illicit drugs like fentanyl were conducted, however, according to Dr. Wax, were not found. Oh, this is the report. Okay, hold on a second. And then I can. Oh. Okay, so there was no alcohol. The alkaline drug screen, acid neutral drug screen. I don't know what EIA. The EIA panel does not detect oxycodone, methadone, or clonazepam. And We'll have to, because this is the first time I'm seeing the report. I was trying to find it earlier and couldn't find it. So I'll have to look into what these numbers mean and how much that is. But 1.2 micrograms per milliliter, and then 1.9 micrograms per milliliter. That's the fluoxetine, which is the antidepressant. Right, Doodle? Norfluoxetine, 0.89 micrograms per milliliter, 1.4 micrograms per milliliter. And then the Benadryl was 15 micrograms per milliliter, 25 micrograms per milliliter. The following were trace, dextromethorphan, and norchlorcyclazine. This is the, I know that name. This is the Seroquel that she took at bedtime. So it was in her system, but apparently it wasn't the levels of the others. Hey, Tomboy. How are you, hun? Thanks for hopping in. So I will need to see what these numbers mean and stuff. If you want me to send you this report, Noni, I can. I'm going to download it and save it so I can. My sister's surgical tech. She can probably figure this out for me. Who else do we have that's nurse or something that could look into this for us? I can't remember. Got any ideas? I can't think at the moment. So yeah, and then I got hold on, let me save this before I forget and lose it. I had some comments that said okay, that works. Oh, good old Walmart. Ugh, I try to avoid that as much as I can. Some couple people that may have known Next or thought they knew Next that in my comments in my last, I believe it was my last live, said that they were the bully and a drug addict, and that was a little upsetting. And I asked them, I said, if you are telling the truth and you want to tell me the truth behind the story, then email me. You think they emailed me? No, they didn't. So, yeah, I am sure because, yeah. The article did, underneath that said a second expert who reviewed the findings was forensic pathologist Dr. Daniel Schultz, the president of Final Diagnosis INC in Tampa, Florida, who came to the same conclusion on the cause of death. He said there's no question this was an overdose by a combination of diphenhydramine and fluoxetine. Essentially, the dose to do this in some ways implies intent. This is not an accidental type of thing. Oh my goodness. The 11 pages released indicate handwritten notes suggestive of self harm were found in Nex's room by family members, and that the teen has a history of bipolar, depression, anxiety, and self harm. Oh. That poor kid. That makes me sad now. Hmm. Darn. Well, I still hope that Nex rests in peace wherever they may be. Right, Tomboy? And Walmart's the last place you want to go when you don't like people. All right, what do you guys want to talk about? There's six people. We got six. Woohoo! We're going up. Should I? I don't blame you, Doodle. Walmart's no fun. I hope so too, Noni. I hope so too. And I hope that maybe this is an eye opener for the school, um, to put some protections in place for the LGBTQ community, and so that so other kids don't feel like they have no other choice but to leave this world. So it just it breaks my heart. Their life hadn't even started yet. What? I hadn't heard that, Janet. Really? Delphi public defenders are having fundraisers to pay for their experts? Why would they have to pay for them to begin with? Don't they just volunteer to, or they're subpoenaed, or I'm trying to think of the words I'm wanting to use. Sorry. Yeah, you subpoena them and they come in and so why are they paying them? That's wild. I had not heard that. Wow. Indiana sometimes, I swear, these people here, kooky. Let's see here. Delphi. But they shouldn't need extra funds if they don't pay them. They just subpoena them and they show up to court. Why would they need extra funds? Okay, cool, Janet, because I know he's going to get with Salty sometime this week, and that may be why I haven't really heard from him all day. He may be working with her today, um, to get the Delphi stuff together for you guys for next week. So awesome. Thanks for sending that to him. Noni, it's so hard to get kids to understand how their life hasn't really started and school problems will be long. Exactly, exactly. Hi, Molly. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Janet. Um, exactly, Noni. That's like my middle daughter. She's like, I want to work, I want to work, I want to work. I'm like, honey, you are 14. You have the rest of your life to work. Try to find a way to enjoy being a teen, as hard as it may be, but try for me, please, because you start working now, come time that you actually have to work, you're going to be so burnt out and over it. It's not even funny. I was like, just enjoy life now before you have to work and be responsible. Please, 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 please. They need rebuttal experts. There, got it. All right, here, I'll show you guys what they sent. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. All right. So, says the state of the Delphi case is shocking. Judge Gull has denied funds for the public defender's experts. So attorney David Hennessy is crowdfunding resources. Swipe for some legal explanations about why this is happening. Feel that you would personally like to contribute. Start jury selection on May 13th and will conclude by May 31st. Without a fair trial, there cannot be true justice for the victims. Absolutely. Judge Gull has also denied all media requests for coverage of this trial, so we won't be able to see anything. I knew that was coming. Interesting. That's interesting. I don't quite know what to say about that. Why they would, right, Noni. Yeah. Yeah, you know me, Tomboy, I just haven't had time to get there to listen to Bob Mata. Mandy sent me his podcasts and everything on it. Is there a particular one, or it's probably all of them? Let me see here. Oh, helps if I use the search bar. Judge Gull needed to have been recused from the trial, from the bench, and forced into retirement, in my honest opinion. You might be right. I don't understand why they get on the bench and then they get to sit there for like their entire lifetimes. Why? Why is that like that? I don't get it. I never did understand that. I thought I had his subscribed to his thing. Where's it at? Defense Diaries, does that sound right? I agree, Janet. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get a fair trial either. All right, so here's the podcast. Let's see here. So shorts, videos. See, that was 6 months ago. Let's see. Oh my goodness, all this stuff on P. Diddy. Goodness. I haven't looked at it either. So there's something. Delphi hearing update. That's an hour and a half long. Okay. Diego's more up to date on the Delphi stuff, so I will let him cover the Delphi. Even though I am here in Indiana, I can't stay up on it enough to keep my eyes straight. I have had several people send me a video regarding Sebastian, and I thought I would play that for you guys and see what you thought. Let me find it again. All right, hold on a second. Let me download this. Hello, Cassie. How are ya? Right. Whoop. Hold on a second. All right. Okay. I'm doing pretty good. I got bored, so I said, well, let me go talk to you guys and see what's going on. If anybody's out there. Yeah, how is excuse me, little man, your little brother? Lord, why did I forget his name? It was right there and then it went bloop. Today? Got me that way every day, honey. All right. Let me know. Whoops. He's doing a little better. He ate today and was sitting up in his bed this morning. Yay! All right, let me know if you guys can hear this. The picture is not that great. I can show you a better picture once we get done listening to this. Yes, thank you. I knew that. It was like right there, and then as soon as I went to say it, it was gone. Like, seriously, brain fart. Whoops. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
We have an estimated time of start for the search process.
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Great, thank you.
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male was not in the bed. We had a white male, 30 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, one finger turned down. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
10-4 Monroe.
47. I asked the call taker to ask if the juvenile has a phone. Great. Central to 68. I am Mrs. Fire Call.
It is.
Central to 47-180, 412. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
I'm in the area. Check long haul out, just same way.
You can take me off the assist fire. I'll be en route to the missing juvenile.
Next big track back up, going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach. I'm behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Hey, this is all dry, hard packed. I do have some footprints over here. Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprints. My shoes, that Max went straight into the pond. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water. Yeah, do you see any prints around it? There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt, headed straight this way on the track that he was running. 1247, what kind of shoes does he wear? Size 10. Well, to any units that are going to be assisting with 1008, please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please.
All right, so what do you guys think about that? Yeah, I caught that too, Molly. On the track he was running. Yeah, it's a mess, Noni. It's such a mess. Here's the... All right, here's the picture that she sent me. So there's their house. Willow Pond Beach. And I can play the audio again if you guys want to hear it with the better picture that's up there. Just let me know. Did you come out the back and up this way and around this way to the pond, to the beach? I don't get it. But they drained the pond. They said that it was only about, what, knee deep or something? So why would there be footprints to the pond? Did he run through the pond? Over to what they call the beach, the stadium? No, Moonlit, they have not found him. No, you're fine, hun. We just started in on this. Did you get to hear the call? Yeah, I hadn't heard footprints either. I don't know. I think she just finished her live when I was starting to go live, so I don't think she has heard it. Yeah, he didn't like the dark or getting dirty. It would not go out with no shoes. And all of a sudden, he decides to sneak out late at night alone with a little keychain light, no shoes, and walked through a damn graveyard and to the pond and vanished. Bull snot. That's what I said, bull snot. Okay, I will play it again. Hold on. What'd I do with it? Hold on. I'm gonna move it over here so you guys can see the picture. Let me know if you guys can hear it, okay? Can you guys hear it okay? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, hold on. Okay, I may have to. Okay. Try it again.
Great, thank you.
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male is not in the bed. We had a white male, 30-pound hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
10-4 around.
37. I asked the call taker to ask if the juvenile has a phone. Break. Central to 68. I am Mrs. Fire Call.
It is.
Central to 47 180 and 12. Juvenile left his phone at the house.
Of course, you guys can't hear me because I'm muted and I'm talking to you. All right. Can you hear me now? Right. Technical difficulties. Exactly. All right. Hi, Heather. Thanks for being here, hon. Okay. We're going to try this again. This is Clues. Apparently, she cleaned up the audio, so we'll use it. Thank you, Clue. All right. Let's make sure you can hear. Let me make sure. I don't know why you gotta click this stupid thing every single time you share your screen. All right. One more time.
Do we have an estimated time of start for the search process?
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Great, thank you.
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male is not in the bed. We had a white male, 30-pound hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. Rat's going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors unlocked at this time.
10-4 around.
37. I asked the phone taker to ask if the juvenile has a phone. Right. Central to 68. And this is fire call.
Yeah.
Central to 47184 is called. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
I'm in the area. Check long haul out, just same way. You can take me off the system, or I'll be en route to the missing juvenile. Next pick track back up, going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach. I'm behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on. Negative, this is all dry, hard packed. I do have some footprints over here. Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond. No shoes, just footprints? Shoes that Max went straight into the pond. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water. Yeah, do you see any footprints around it? There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt, headed straight this way on the track that he was running. Brooks 47, what kind of shoe does he wear? Size 10. Go to any units that are going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please.
People and only so many places that y'all can go.
Okay. So, yes, Molly, that is what I heard them say, was there was an area where it was dry, and then there was an area where it was pretty muddy. So that doesn't make sense to me either. What do you guys think about this video? Or audio, sorry. Muddy closer to the water. That would make sense. Definitely. Yeah, I wondered that myself, Doodle. I was like, dove into the pond? What made them think that they, whether it be Sebastian or whoever, dove into the pond? Did they maybe see just the front part of the foot and toes, like they pushed off and dove into the pond? Yeah, and it was only like a foot deep, so why would you dive? It's not deep enough to dive, you'd hurt yourself. Well, they did say and I can't remember exactly which interview, but the dogs did follow a trail, followed along a path all the way to the pond. Right, and they even said, he doesn't have shoe prints, or he doesn't have shoes on, so it's footprints. was it Nancy Grace interview that she confirmed that the dogs tracked this path, and I know Clue has talked about it, but she wouldn't give details because she doesn't want to, interfere with the case, which is fine. I would probably do the same. This path all the way to the pond. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to try and do something real fast. Okay. Hey, Groot. How are you, hun? I'm glad you're here. Yeah. So she got up at 6, and this call's saying that it came in at 6:33. She got up, she called Chris, and then they called all within 3 minutes. She called him at 6:03. Okay. So 6:33 was the dispatch, so 30 minutes later. Okay, that makes more sense. Goodness. Okay. It really is, Noni. I cannot figure out. I've had several different theories, and it's driving me crazy because I get one and I'm like, okay, I think this is what happened. And then something comes up and it's like, nope, that's not it. And it changes it. But Mondays picked up his scent outside his home. I've already heard they did and they didn't. Okay, hold on a second. I need to see. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Did you time me like I do, Dago? I hope not, because that was longer than 2 seconds. That's because I'm slow and old. I forget how these batteries, my mouse, I got to put batteries in my mouse. So give me this. I don't know if I put those in the right direction. Well, light came on, so I think so. All right. Oh my goodness. Come on, mouse, work with me. Hello, wake up. is it not? Oh boy. Oh, there we go. Okay. There's a little connection button I missed. All right. I can't get past the locked doors, right? When the mom woke up, the dogs didn't pick up his scent at their yard, then he was driven to the site. So he left in the middle of the night and locked the doors. Without shoes, without his phone, but grabbed his glasses. I'm like, what? If he were running from her, then I'd say maybe she chased him in her SUV and she accidentally hit him. Maybe thought she was hitting the brake but hit the gas. Or she came around the corner and he ran out from the bushes or something. At Doodle, that makes the most sense to me. Even if he was carried, they would still have a scent trail. Right. Out by someone, then something wasn't right with that. And when he realized it, he took off running. That's a good possibility, too, Janet. Very good possibility. Okay. All right, let me show you some of these pictures. Come on. Okay, so this picture is my desktop. um, so this is their backyard. So you can see their back door right there. I mean, it's 5'5" boy. He could jump that fence. And there's that heifer on the horse. Heifer on the horse. That Doodle. I keep seeing you say something about that, but I don't know what horse riding heifer you're for. I'm right there with you, Cassie. Hi, Mandy. How are you, honey? Did you notice the way Nancy acted when she asked them about his bathroom? I did. And she's like, I don't think she was buying it. Carrie Foster, she purposely redirected the search. Oh. Searched around on a horse. Okay. Okay. All right. Carrie Foster. All right. Give me just a second. Yes, they are on spring break. They don't go back until it was supposed to be April 8th, but that is the solar eclipse. So we get that day off, so they don't go back until the 9th. So yeah, they got, well, my one that does online schooling, she has this week, but then she goes back next week. My hubby and I go back to work also next week. So, yeah. And I was bored and I kind of started waking up. I've been really, really tired today. I don't have my nighttime medicine, so it's messing with me. I finally got a little bit of energy and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go live. Maybe that'll help. So let me see. Carrie Foster, heifer on a horse, Sebastian Rogers. Let's see a picture of hers. Doodle, can I just show your video? Hola, Candy Cute. How are you? I know, isn't that crazy? I remember watching the eclipse when I was in high school. It wasn't, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but okay. So this is Carrie Foster, aka Heifer on a Horse. Do you guys want to read that, or you want to come back later and read it? I didn't. Are you serious? Come on, Doodle. Give me a little more credit than that. No, he didn't, and I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if he's working with Salty today or what. I talked to him for a brief minute earlier today, and then he said, "I'll call you in a bit," and that was the last I heard from him, so I'm not sure what's going on with him. I even sent him a text and a Discord saying that um, I was going live. Oh, I'm glad to hear you say that, Janet, because mine too. Seriously. And it hadn't bothered me before, but for some reason, leap day and the time change for me has really messed me up this time. And right now I'm out of my medicine, so it's like triple messing me up. I mean, I have my daytime, but it's just not enough to, it's just not enough. I need my nighttime medicine too. That's the chick I sent y'all the article on a week or two ago. The Friday. Okay, okay. Now I'm putting it together. Thank you, Mandy. I think it was just the way Doodlebug put it out there as the heifer on a horse, and I couldn't figure out who the heifer on the horse was. So, okay. Now I'm catching up here, guys. I'm catching up. She has a past of going into a school with, oh, that's not good. That's not nice. Why would she do that? I use heifer a lot. I'm always afraid I'm going to offend somebody, so I try not to unless it's somebody I know really well. Miss Brandy. Howdy, hun. How are ya? Ghost, get him a water bottle. He's thirsty. He's thirsty. Ghost went and got him his own water bottle full of water. Yes, I do, Janet. I very much do. I thought maybe that was why you mentioned it, was because you knew I had it. That's funny. Yes, I do. I had to fight my insurance at the beginning of the year because it was a new insurance, and so I had to have this new sleep study and all this stuff to get my medicine, and it was a whole fiasco. And now my doctor's office decided at the beginning of the month they wanted to update their electronic system, and so they couldn't send my prescription to the pharmacy electronically, and so I've been without it for about a week, my nighttime medicine. Oh, honey, I am so sorry. I do not have the cataplexy. Thank goodness. I am so sorry. Yeah. And when it is in overdrive, it's horrible. And that's the way I've been all week. And I'm on vacation and I'm like trying to just like suck it up and, be in a good mood, but I am just exhausted. Yay, Tomboy. I'm glad you made it home safe and sound and the groceries are all put away. Okay, I'm back. Yikes. I don't think they've ever told me what type that I have. They just told me I had narcolepsy. I'll have to look that up sometime. All right, let's see if there's anything going on. Da, 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 da. I don't see anything new and exciting. Well, I knew there was obviously different levels of narcolepsy, like supposedly the lady I work with, she has it, but she has it really mild, so she doesn't have to take medications. But whereas mine, I have to take medications. And then there's like Janet said, she has cataplexy, where basically she wakes up and she's paralyzed until it stops doing that. So that's the only ones I know of is with and without cataplexy. So I guess mine may be type 2. I'm not sure. Exactly. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I know what you mean, Noni. My zoo's pretty quiet though right about now, so yay. The doctor who's been prescribing my ADHD meds for the last 12 years has decided to close their doors. Oh, that's always fun too. Yeah. Narcolepsy and sleep apnea. Cool. Not cool, but you know what I mean. Exactly, Cassie. How'd you know? It's every time we cook a pizza in the oven, it does it. Cracks me up. It's our cooking alarm instead of our smoke alarm. Good for you. You cooked the other night. You don't need to cook that many nights in a row. Ooh, chili sounds good. All right, I feel that too, Noni. My goodness. Ah, tomboy. My son did that once. That was pretty funny. Yep. I used to have, let me see if I can find that video. Janet, you can probably explain the cataplexy better than I can. Um, here's it's just like a little short video that'll give you an idea of what. Oops, wrong button.
Narcolepsy causes me to fall asleep anywhere between 40 and 50 times a day on a good day, probably more than that on a bad day. And it can be anywhere between a few seconds. If I'm sitting up, if I'm at home, then it can probably be more than that, because if I'm comfortable, if I'm sitting on a chair, if I've got something to rest my head back on, it can be anywhere between sort of, well, up to 45 minutes. And it impacts massively on my life, because it means that everything I do, I have to think about how much energy it's going to take up, how long afterwards it's going to take me to recover, and if I'm going to be safe, because it's not just the falling asleep, but cataplexy as well, which can leave me quite vulnerable in certain situations, public transport, or if I'm by myself without a friend. So it impacts on everything I do, really, because you just have to think about things that somebody who didn't have narcolepsy wouldn't have to think about before doing something simple. Even something like going swimming. I don't go swimming anymore because there's a risk that I could have cataplexy in the swimming pool and start drowning, which has happened before. So it impacts massively.
Really, that's interesting, Janet. I hadn't heard that. COVID on narcolepsy. COVID attacks the exact same cells. Now, narcolepsy is classified as autoimmune disease because of link with. Wow, I had not heard that. Interesting. Yeah, it's. There you go. I couldn't think of the words to explain it. Let's see. Right, right. Here's the one I had for a long time to kind of. Oops. Hold on a second. I don't know how we went to true crime to medical, but that's okay. I said open discussion, so. This one's a quick little 1 minute thing too.
With the history of narcolepsy, And this video is actually going to demonstrate this process of cataplexy that these patients frequently have. That's a circumstance where you just kind of like lose muscle tone, you become even almost paralyzed.
So unfortunate.
Yeah. And so let's take a look at this. And oftentimes it's actually this video clip is someone who was demonstrating like a dance exercise, and because the person's background pathology just happens to capture this moment right on the videotape. So let's take a look at that. So here she is describing like these dance motions, and then we'll see just this abrupt like loss of motor tone, and because this person has underlying narcolepsy, we'll actually see like this person just goes out this profound deep sleep. So a terrible actually circumstance.
That's what cataplexy, just that sudden paralysis, and then all of a sudden you just have possibly associated sleep tech, and then she just woke up.
And then she just woke up. Yeah, fascinating.
And then another sleep attack.
Truly and terribly impactful disease.
So I feel for you, Janet. I'm sorry. The cataplexy is tough. I mean, narcolepsy alone is hard, but with the cataplexy, I couldn't imagine. Yikes, Heather. My goodness. Yeah. The more emotional, the more it. Pit bull potamus. What? Just looking for the dog. Did you hear my dog? Did my dog make noise? I know it's so rare, it seems, to find people that have it that can even relate, because everybody's like, is that really a real thing? And it's like, yes. Would I just make it up? I mean, you see fainting goats. They're real. Why wouldn't narcolepsy in people be real? People ask dumb questions. So anyway, what else do we want to talk about? That second one? No. I'm really surprised, Heather, with your dad having narcolepsy. You hadn't heard of that? Yeah, that's my husband's doing something behind me. All right. No, they aren't. They're not good at jump scares at all. They're like, nope, gotta go. It's funny, but it's not. The poor little things. I feel so sorry for them. I mean, I can't help but laugh, but my goodness. All right. Let's see. What else is going on? Oh, did you guys watch the cargo ship hit the bridge in Boston? That was wild. Very, very wild. Let's see. Let's see. Puff Daddy. Did they find him? Puff Daddy run. Makes me think of that video of a UPS truck hitting something in a driveway. And all the oh my gosh. Wow. Sean Diddy Combs property raided by Homeland Security. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Swamp Rose. Okay. Aww. That's a cute goat, Molly. That's so cute. Or is that a cow? That's a baby cow. That's not a goat. Why are you showing me a baby cow? Idaho 4 live. Okay. Swamp Rose. Idaho 4. That one's from like a month ago. That can't be right. All right, hold on. Yeah, I agree, Cassie. When I saw it, it was like a Lego bridge falling. It was wild. It seems like I heard something about that, Janet. I'll have to look into that here in a second. Let's see. Swamp Rose, Idaho 4. Let's see. 2 days ago, 9 days. It was just yesterday, so how? Okay, it was alive. Idaho 4 and Diddy. Okay, I found it. That is adorable mini cow. That is for sure. All right. Where are we at? That's still Idaho. Because I really don't want to watch Idaho. Where's the Diddy stuff? Maybe the Diddy stuff was at the beginning? Oh, it is. Okay, cool. I just went right on past it. Good old Brian. Hiya, Brian. All right. Okay, see what's up with P. Diddy.
Good morning, welcome back. I'm just going to check out the chat and see who's here today. Thank you everyone for showing up this morning, and I think I have a good show for us. Oh, good. Thank you for being here, Nevada and Rock. Nevada is my managing mod, and she does such a good job with the channel. So Thank you, Nevada, for everything you do. Hey, Tabby Cat. 28. Well, we've hit 40 this morning, so we're beating you. Oh, good. Yeah, you got me by 5 degrees. April, good morning. Controversy that's going on right now. Let me share my screen with you.
Thank you, Clue.
So right now, we've all been seeing the headlines that P. Diddy's house got raided in like a military style fashion. But I'm going to propose to you that has a lot more to do with with things to do than sex trafficking. So one of my favorite podcasters here on YouTube is someone named Candace Owens. And so she's very political. I'm not going to play any of the political stuff that she does, but she reported on a story regarding Michael Jackson and P. Diddy. And I actually believe that this raid that happened on Puffy's house has more to do with this. There's a lot more to do with the story. So the picture I'm showing right now is an article that was in the AP this morning. And basically, essentially, Puffy is saying that his house.
What, Mandy? What? Don't be freaking me out and saying, "Oh God."
Was raided unfairly. It was overdone in a military style. One second. But I'm going to bring you another proposition to what's going on. Hold on. That's Candace. I got to pull up the screen. If you don't know who Candace Owens is, I'll link her channel afterwards. Like I said, she's one of my favorite YouTubers. Hopefully, I hope that to make a channel like hers one day. I love the way she does her narratives. So let me just fast forward to where she gets started on the story. This is actually a 10-minute story, but we're going to pause it as we go to just kind of digest it. And then we'll get into the Idaho 4 stuff.
On Candace Owens. All right, so I wasn't kidding at the top, guys. I am probably not going to cover this anymore because it is definitely getting a bit terrifying. Obviously, we covered this. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch. I believe it was Monday's episode. But yes, the Diddy lawsuit is absolutely crazy. Full stop. What if I told you guys that it is about to get even crazier, that there is directly a link to Michael Jackson's death? I want to be clear that when everything was going on with Michael Jackson, the lawsuits, his death, I thought that we were in full conspiracy theory territory when people were saying that Michael Jackson was killed. I actually know a lot of people that are in the industry who believe that Michael Jackson was killed. And I just thought it just sounds too whacked out to believe that somebody intentionally killed Michael Jackson. Of course, why would they do that? And also, I was believing the media. The media was extensively saying every single day that he was a pedophile, even though he factually won his case. I allowed my image of Michael Jackson certainly to be corroded by the media throughout that time period. I will fully confess that. Now, I want to remind you, before we get back into Michael Jackson, what we learned in the Diddy documents, just to very quickly recap. Well, if you read through them, again, these are all allegations, but you will come out of it understanding that there is allegedly some sort of a blackmail ring that is operating throughout.
I'm going to stop right there because one thing that she's not mentioning that prompted this video, when Michael Jackson was accused of all of those things in the 90s, right before that happened, when he was at the pinnacle of his career, when he had the most power, when he had the most fame, when he was still in his prime, he put out an announcement that has been wiped from the internet, which recently came to light, where Michael Jackson called out Tommy Mottola. So Mariah Carey had just divorced Tommy Mottola, and Michael Jackson came out on live and basically said, he is stalking her. He is trying to destroy her. Now, Mariah Carey, too, was at the pinnacle of her career, and she had nobody to stand up for her. So Michael Jackson stood up for her, and that's when all of these allegations went down. Now, I'm not defending Michael Jackson or what he built, but I am saying the timing is exact. Michael Jackson came out calling Tommy Mottola, and he started getting accused of these things.
Hollywood, and that artists that are producing music are actually being controlled via being induced into drugs at parties. And then what takes place is they're being recorded, and sometimes they're being recorded while they are committing sexual acts with minors. And something that we also saw in these docs is that these parties, at least a lot of them, are taking place in the Virgin Islands, which again just makes you go, what's happening here? Because Jeffrey Epstein, obviously his home, or he owned an island that was just off the coast of St. Thomas. So we hear that again. I also am jogging your memory about the Bitcoin millionaire who right before his death found drowned, accidental drowning, even though he was fully clothed and had his wallet in his pocket, tweeted that the CIA and the Mossad were running a blackmail ring in the Virgin Islands. Something else that we learned in the Diddy lawsuit was that the media and the authorities are complicit. So the ring has real power, not imagined power. Again, I am using the word alleged because this person, despite having, video evidence and he has presented photographic evidence, this has not yet gone through the court system. And so we can't say that it's entirely true. And I'd say the biggest point that we took away from these Diddy docs was that this ring, if you believe it exists, can and will murder people to protect themselves. And he intimated this event that happened allegedly at a recording studio where Diddy and his son allegedly shot someone, and it was covered up by the LAPD and then the media. All right, so within those docs, and this is where it gets relevant, there is one man that is named as being the person that can do the cleanups, right? This is the guy that you are supposed to call if you get into any sort of a scenario. So in these docs, it says, Mr. Combs instructs his staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad, that is Fahim Muhammad, if they are ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. And upon information and belief, this is regarding the shooting that took place at Chalice Recording Studios. Again, he is alleging that Diddy and his son shot someone. And after that shooting, the documents say explicitly that Mr. Muhammad spoke with the LAPD after G was shot at the recording studio.
So just remember that name, Muhammad, Mr. Muhammad, okay?
The LAPD was in the recording studio and witnessed the blood in the restroom, and they went with the bogus claim that the shooting of G occurred outside of the studio. This was all thanks to Mr. Muhammad's connections within law enforcement. So again, what we are seeing there is that you call this guy and this guy will make it disappear, and the media will report whatever the incident is in a capacity that covers up the crime, allegedly. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The cleanup guy, Mr. Fahim Muhammad, was also on the scene when Michael Jackson died. So I want to introduce you to and allow you to listen to Ian Carroll. He's an independent journalist that is investigating everything that is going on, and he explains that connection that Fahim has with Michael Jackson. Take a listen.
So this new lawsuit just came out that shows tons of evidence that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, has been running a sexual blackmail operation very much like Jeffrey Epstein, but in the rap and music industry for basically 30 years.
Okay, and so just to build on Chalk's comment right there, bodyguard, not only bodyguard, but the head of security for the king of pop, a 22-year-old who just got out of college, is very messed up. Same guy as in Puffy's shooting incident.
And in that lawsuit, we learned that his head of security while he's running the sexual blackmail ring is this guy named Fahim Muhammad, who before working for Diddy was the head of security for Michael Jackson when he was only 21. And he was one of the first people on the scene when Michael Jackson died. And before we go to Michael Jackson, the most important part of the Diddy case to bring across is the fact that the record executives at the very top knew what P. Diddy was doing. They were attending the parties with underage girls where they were spiking drinks. They were deeply involved in Diddy's personal life, and all evidence points to them supporting his operation, or at the very least, turning a blind eye to it.
So yes, this is obviously huge. It's also potentially terrifying. And now if you want to be rational and use rational side of your brain, you just go, okay, well, this could just be a coincidence, right? Like Fahim Muhammad, he is in security. And yes, he obviously is high up in security. He was providing security to Michael Jackson. He happened to die on his watch. Big deal, right? Big deal. Well, I think that would lead us to the question of who exactly is Fahim Muhammad.
Okay, so remember, I mentioned Tommy Mottola in the beginning of this, and the video that came out that has recently resurfaced on TikTok of Michael Jackson calling out Tommy Mottola for stalking Mariah Carey and basically trying to take her down, allegedly.
Muhammad, because that's kind of a big first job to have. You're 21 years old and you're protecting the king of pop. What exactly are his qualifications? Let's go back to Ian Carroll and his reporting.
And now here's the best part. Check this out. This is in all of his bios, by the way, but we're pointing it out now. In 2008, Fahim graduated from Sacramento State University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration with a concentration in real estate and marketing. Okay. Do you realize what's wrong with that yet?
Hey, party five.
Anything coming to mind? When did Michael Jackson die? June 25th, 2009. Jackson died from cardiac arrest caused by a propofol and benzodiazepine overdose caused by his doctor, apparently. Hold up. Hold the phone. Pause. Why is a dude who just graduated college last year with a business and real estate degree the head of security for the king of pop, for Michael Jackson, the most famous musician of all time?
Yeah, that is.
Okay, I'm just, because only we have one shot at this, I just want, and I don't report on other things than Idaho 4, I just really want to drive this point home and make sure I'm stopping. They just explained the how. Now, here's the why. And I think this is why the FBI raided this house. I'm sorry. There is no connection, as far as I can tell, with the Michael Jackson and P. Diddy, except for the bodyguard. And I'm wondering if they're looking for more connection. So again, I don't know anything. I'm just going by this really fascinating report. And Candace Owen explicitly says twice she will never report on this again because of the threats that she's receiving.
Remarkably suspicious. And if we had a media that was interested in actually presenting the truth and not just propagandizing on behalf of the state, they would probably explore and look deeper into who this character is. But of course, that's not what the media does. Instead, they are meant to convince people of certain narratives. And like I said in the past, I've been a victim to that. I was obviously very young when everything was going on with Michael Jackson, and I believed the media, which is why I was kind of stunned to kind of go back and revisit the Michael Jackson case. And Ian has extensively unpacked that, revealing, and I did not know this, maybe perhaps because the media wasn't interested in telling us the end result. But yes, the FBI raided Michael Jackson's home. They poured through hours upon hours of the video footage that he had, other materials, documents that were in his house, trying to find this connection to Michael Jackson and potential child abuse. And what ended up being the result was that they could not find a single shred of proof that Michael Jackson had abused any children. And yet, despite this, the media convinced us that he was a pedophile, or maybe they didn't convince you, but they definitely did a good job convincing me that Michael Jackson was a pedophile. And to be clear, maybe it's perhaps the lack of evidence that was ever uncovered. Michael Jackson was found not guilty of all of the charges that were brought against him. But that didn't stop the media's obsessive attacks against him. They still wanted people to believe that this man was a bad individual. And so they shifted their claims and they started revealing in so many articles, so many front page news pieces were written to tell the masses that Michael Jackson was a raging anti-Semite. It is a fact, by the way, that Michael Jackson...
I'm just going to pause. Before she says what she says, I'm going to just put a trigger warning, because if you were to take what she's saying out of context, she's trying to explain why Michael Jackson was labeled that way. She is in no way giving like her personal opinion. I want to just give that trigger warning before she talks, because I know there's a lot of people who would be sensitive to this subject.
Jackson did keep a list of people in the industry that he said were his enemies, okay? On that list were people that all happened to be Jewish. So it was lawyer Gloria Allred, music exec Tommy Mottola, Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, you may have heard of him, and I'm going to mention him later, Israeli illusionist Uri Geller, and also Michael Jackson's former manager, Dieter Weisner. Now, to be clear, it was Dieter himself that revealed that Michael Jackson had this list, but he says that Michael Jackson was just paranoid, that Michael Jackson thought that these industry people were all colluding to try to ruin his life and to take over his life. And again, that was just Michael Jackson being crazy and being a raging anti-Semite. Well, Ian Carroll also investigates those claims as well. Take a listen.
And yes, Jackson did say that the Jews are probably referring to the Jews in the music industry are like leeches and that they took everything from them and that they did it on purpose. But when you look into those allegations or those insults, you realize that because of his will that was probably fake and filed right before his death.
Okay, so here is the motive, you guys. If you don't know what happened with Michael Jackson's will, it's because the mainstream media is not reporting on it. The Jackson family, they pushed back against this, but I don't hear them speaking out. They must be petrified too. Just listen to this.
So the will was signed on July 7th in Los Angeles by 3 witnesses, but Jackson's family pointed out that he was in New York that day and there's video proving it. So they changed their story, but the witnesses definitely saw it and it was just in New York. So anyways, because of this will, John Branca was put in charge of his estate, which included his net worth of $230 million, but far more importantly, his 50% share of Sony ATV worth $750 million. Yes, he was taking on Sony. He was going after the hand that feeds him. And when you look into John Branca, in 2003, Jackson fired Branca because he was siphoning money
Hi,
out of
Victoria.
Jackson's accounts in collusion with Sony Music CEO Tommy Mottola and funneling it through a bunch of offshore accounts in the Caribbean. John Branca is Jewish and Tommy Mottola is also Jewish.
Again, trigger warning. So I just don't want anyone to take that out of context. They're just saying why Michael Jackson was labeled as an anti-Semite. That's why they're bringing this up. And I actually want to stop there because she goes into more of the controversy with the rabbi and Kanye at that point, and I just don't feel it's appropriate for my channel. So I'm just going to stop there. But please, I've got Candace's handle at the bottom. But check out the whole video. It's about 45 minutes long, and she does go into more detail about Michael Jackson, tying Kanye into a few of these things. And so I'm going to show you why I bring this up. So before I came on, I just wanted to see what the headlines were as far as the Diddy case before I showed you this Candace video. And all of the headlines are from Diddy's lawyer this morning. And the narrative that they're pushing back is that Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer says raids of the rapper home were excessive use of military force. So that's what they're labeling it as. And let's just say if they're looking at a 20-year-old SA case, well, maybe it would be excessive, but I just showed you they might be looking for a lot of other things there. So let's just read this. It's literally like one paragraph long. Let me just read this to you. Okay, so Los Angeles AP. Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer said Tuesday that all searches for the rapper's Los Angeles and Miami properties by federal authorities in the sex trafficking investigation were gross use of military-level force, and that Combs is innocent and will continue to fight to clear his name. In his first public statement from the music mogul's
Uh-oh, where did it stop? Sorry, guys. Yikes, I'm sorry. um, maybe there? Hey, I know, I told you I was off today. Well, what's funny is, several of you could, like, holler at me at Discord, or I know there's a couple of you that have my phone number, text me and be like, "Yoo-hoo, hello, what are you doing?" Just kidding. I am so sorry, guys. I told you my brain's not working today. All right, hold on. Let me stop this a minute. And then let me go back. Let me check something else real fast. Okay. Just that. Oh. Really, Kimber? Which property? Oh,
on it.
P.
The
Diddy can
Jackson
wait. Hold on.
family, they pushed back against this, but I don't hear them speaking out. They must be petrified too. Just listen to this.
So the will was signed on July 7th in
I
Los
can't make it
Angeles
stop.
by 3 witnesses.
Okay, Heather. Oh, Kimber, I thought you was sorry, I thought you was talking about Sebastian. I was like, what? Forget Diddy. Well, good. I'm glad, even that it's a 20-year-old case. I'm glad, somebody's getting some resolution. Hopefully they'll get some answers. Missing mom and her daughter that have been missing for 20 years in Springfield, Tennessee tonight. Wow. Well, I hope they find them and they get some answers. Let's see if there's anything else going on in the YouTube world. J is for justice and I don't know if this is new or not. We'll see. Oh, no, stop. I saw that too, Victoria. That was... Okay, let's see if this is anything new. It says it was just a few minutes ago, but... Wait, where the heck? There it is.
Missing Sumner County teenager Sebastian Rogers continues with volunteers teaming up with the United Cajun Navy.
News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry spoke with Sebastian's biological father.
I feel like I'm carrying the world, and all of a sudden I got somebody standing behind me, helping me hold that up.
Seth Rogers, Sebastian's biological dad, tells me he has been searching for his son since the first day Sebastian was reported missing from his home in the
Hey,
beach
Virginia
area.
Woolf.
And he says now there are more resources looking for Sebastian with the United Cajun Navy here following the conclusion of the
Yeah, I
Riley
saw that
Stone
too.
search.
Normally, we would deploy twice in the same area, but the outpouring was just so strong for us to stay and look for Sebastian. We said, you know what, since we're here, let's do it.
The UCN is working independently from law enforcement and joined search efforts on Saturday. Today was the first day volunteers were encouraged to help in the ongoing search.
There's really a lack of answers, and the truth is nobody knows where he is. And I see his family hurting, and I see a community trying to rally together around this boy.
But the turnout, volunteers say, was not enough. With criticism online,
Sorry about that,
Seth
guys.
says the drama
That
on
was
the
loud.
internet has deterred some people from helping, and he says it needs to stop.
People need to stop their ego. Just because you pick up a phone and start recording, you can either help with that or you can hinder. I am asking the world to help me find my son. I need my son back.
The handful of volunteers that did show spent the morning searching their assigned grid plan. Officials with the United Cajun Navy tell me due to a shortage of volunteers, they ended the searches around 3. But the search will continue tomorrow at 90 Volunteer Drive, and the only thing they need is people. As the search continues, for now, Seth is just clinging on to the memories and conversations he shared with Sebastian.
He's a teenager. He's 15. I understand. Oh, Dad, no. You're old. Okay, I'm old. I'm still your dad. You still have to deal with it. You may not want me here now, but you're going to need me later, and I'm going to be there for him.
Like you are right now.
Right now, I'm there for him.
In Sumner County, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Learning disturbing new details.
Okay. Did I say Victoria Wolf? I was probably looking at Victoria's name. I'm sorry if I did. So sorry about that. Hold on a second. I got a kid coming at me. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just trying to see if there was. Stop. This thing's getting as bad as TikTok. Just start playing videos. I didn't tell it to go. Let's see. What? Well, this is. I don't know if she's still here or not. Clue, you still here?
She joins us now, sharing her story. Natanya, thank you so much for being with us. I can't imagine what you've been through since 1999, and then all the emotions that must be coming up over the last couple of days. What was your reaction, Natanya, when you saw these massive raids at P. Diddy's two homes?
First and foremost, thank you.
Janet,
for
the
having
one
me.
on Sebastian?
It was very emotional. In short, it was extremely emotional because it was basically it marked 25 years, a quarter of a century since this occurred. And I've had to relive this over and over again, intermittently in that time. So when I saw it, it was very cathartic because I finally felt like justice would be done. Justice would be mine and belong to all of his victims.
Yeah, and you have said since really right after the shooting that it was P. Diddy who shot you. I mean, I think you even said it to the doctor that night, right?
I said it immediately. I literally watched them pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything occur and have described it, vehemently to all parties involved. I think in our society, we have respectability politics. There are people who want to be adjacent to power or celebrity or money, and there's a hierarchy of respectability. Because his name was more notable, he was believed rather than a victim who gave a first-hand account.
Right, Noni? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and this
And
was
help,
also
please.
a different time. I mean, things were very, very different in 1999. I mean, did you sense right from the
I
beginning
mean,
that
they
no one
look good
believed
on
you?
her, though.
Well, I don't think that was on my mind. I think first and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 3. At the time, I was a mother of 2. And just surviving and getting home to my children was of the utmost importance to me. Being whole and being able to mother them. That was, primary on my list. I didn't have any reason to believe that to think that someone would not believe me. But as things unfolded, it was a very short period of time where I realized that's what in fact was happening.
So as I mentioned, Diddy has denied being the one who pulled the trigger. But this is interesting, Natanya. Rodney Jones, also known as Little Rod, is now suing Diddy for sexual harassment. That's something that's been in the headlines for the last couple of days. And there's a very interesting quote from his lawsuit that relates back to you that I want to read because it sort of ties all of this together. And it says, Jones claims in the lawsuit, Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. So now you have Little Rod in this new lawsuit saying that Diddy told him that he actually was responsible. I mean, what did you think when you read that?
Well, I was incensed for a number of reasons. First and foremost, for the past quarter of a century, he's vehemently denied that he was responsible, even though I knew wholeheartedly, and as so many others who were in the club that night, we all knew he was responsible. A lot of people were afraid for their safety, justifiably so. I mean, the history that has occurred in the last 25 years proves that they were justified in being afraid. But I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid because I still bear I have 9 bullet fragments remaining in my face. So when I saw that count 128, that's actually count 128 of the lawsuit. When I saw that on a podcast that was analyzing all of the counts, I knew I had to speak. I had no intention of going viral. I was just getting it out of me. I have a mantra, having my say. There was a time a few years ago where I had a talk radio show called Having My Say. And that's very important to me. I believe everyone is entitled to have their say. Far too often we don't hear people or listen. And so I just wanted to get it out of me because it was like an audible, deep breath that I needed to take. And I made the TikTok video not expecting it to go viral. Went to pick up my daughter, came back home, and she's like, and I literally told her, I'm like, well, you're probably going to see it tomorrow. I made a video on TikTok. Maybe 100 people will see it. By the time we got home, she said, Mommy, it was 70,000 people. And I could not believe it. But it was time. It was time for me to speak. I'd stayed quiet for 25 years. It was my time to speak.
Yeah, we don't know yet what's going to happen with the P. Diddy situation. Obviously, again, he hasn't been arrested. There's clearly a very big federal investigation happening now. But I'm thinking back to other cases, R. Kelly, Jeffrey Epstein. When they started to dig, all sorts of stuff came to the surface. They reopened old investigations. Would you like to see the investigation involving you getting shot at that club be reopened?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The irony is there was a grand jury. We all had to go and speak at the grand jury. J-Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened because if that is in fact the case, she carried the gun in and she lied to the grand jury. It needs to be reopened. My shooting, ironically, the night I went into the club, I had a comb in my pocketbook called a rat tail comb. People in the beauty industry or people that use that type of comb would be all too familiar. It's just a comb. It can't do anything to harm anyone. And I had the very security officer who lied during the trial, Sharice, I forget her last name, but she literally took it from me and kind of pushed me like, you can't take this thing. This is a weapon. To let other people in with guns. If someone had combed me 24 years ago, I'd be fine. You wouldn't even know my name. But having been shot by someone that was allowed to come into the gun when I couldn't bring in a comb, I would absolutely unequivocally like the case reopened. It needs to be reopened. And the saddest part for me is, had people taken what I said more seriously and listened more intently, 24 years worth of people probably would not have had to suffer.
Yeah, and I ask you this respectfully, just because I think people at home might be wondering, and never been shot. I can't imagine what that's like. But, you know, in the chaos of that moment, and it's a club and there's people all around, like, how can you be sure that it was actually P. Diddy?
Because I watched I was standing by the front door. I watched the entire thing out. I had no reason to believe that it would escalate to a shooting. It was just male machismo and bravado at first. A lot of pushing and shoving, raised voices, you know, hands. But then I saw them reach in their waist and draw from their hip. And I knew. I instantly turned to my friends and told them, be careful, watch out. And when I turned back, I know, and I've said over and over, I've heard the voice of God said, you are about to be calm down. And as I said, no, I looked straight forward ahead and I watched the muzzle flash from both of their guns and I felt the impact to my face instantly.
Wow.
There's no doubt in my mind who shot me.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
Alrighty. Let's see. I don't see a whole lot of anything else. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for being here. Dang, what is up with y'all in Walmart? Jeez. There's you will find a felony charge is something not going to protect the kids. There's no one and nothing going on in the YouTube world. Let me see if there's anything news-wise. Unless you guys want to cover the Baltimore. I may just... Sorry for y'all. Hold on. What's this? Video appears to show people. No. Yeah. Everything's quiet right now. Yeah, I get that, Molly. Yeah, I thought I saw something that said that something about the bridge shouldn't have fallen that way or something. And then I watched another video and I was like, what? Let me see. Why am I putting in Boston? It wasn't Boston. It's Maryland. There we go. Oh yeah, sorry, Janet. Forgot about that. Let me see here. All right. Janet, are you thinking of, what's his name? Caleb Harris. He is missing. We could look into that. I haven't gotten a chance to look a whole lot into that. It's pretty suspicious too, but he's from Texas. He's a college kid. Actually, Noni, she went to court yesterday. And there's another hearing on April 16th. They're calling it a Jackson Deno hearing. Her defense team will give their arguments on why any of her statements should not be admissible in trial. And they're hoping to go to trial before the end of the year. Victoria, on Caleb, there hasn't been much new on him. No, Molly, not on here. I did on Clues, but not on here. Let me see. So you guys know that Riley's preliminary autopsy results were accidental, and I apologize if you can hear my kids in the background. I'm so sorry. Okay, so whoops. Here's a video from Inside Edition. Preliminary results show that there was no water in the lungs due to a, let's see if I can say it, esophageal, let's see. Now I forgot the word. Something esophageal spasm, which basically is what happens when you choke. You get a spasm and it closes off, and so therefore the water cannot get into your lungs. But we'll see what this Inside Edition says. The one I watched that explained all of that was the Nick Barris thing, so we'll see if there's a difference. And let me know if you guys can hear it okay.
Preliminary autopsy on Riley Strain does not show signs of foul play. The body of the 22-year-old Mizzou student was found in Nashville's Cumberland River last week, according to police. Still, it's not the outcome that people were hoping for.
a lot of people are invested, and it's heartbreaking for everybody.
Investigators say Strain was asked to leave a bar the night he went missing. Surveillance cameras caught glimpses of him as he wandered all over the city. Search teams formed to look for him, hoping he would be found alive. His family says they are grateful for the community's help.
To the people of Nashville, I can't thank you enough for the support, the love, the encouragement.
Reports say a final autopsy report won't be released until all tests are complete. Now Strain's family and friends mourn his loss.
I just ask that you mamas out there hug your babies tight tonight, please.
Aww.
Please, for me. Just hug
Absolutely.
your babies tight tonight.
For
that
Inside
one,
Edition.
that one didn't go into any of it, did it? Just said, yikes. Okay. So here's.
We do have some news.
All right. Hold on, lady. Slow down. Hi, Bean. Hey, honey. All right.
Details tonight
This
in
one
the
goes
death
into
of
more
Riley
detail.
Strain. The story of his disappearance captured the attention of people all across this country. This morning, Metro Police released the 911 call from the barge worker who found the 22-year-old's body in the Cumberland River. Many questions are still unanswered. The cause of the young man's death is still under investigation. Nick Barris has more details.
Riley Strain's body was found in the Cumberland River, and the assumption is that he drowned, but we won't know for certain until the autopsy is completed here at the medical examiner's office. The autopsy, of course, was only made possible after a river worker spotted the body in the Cumberland 2 weeks after Strain disappeared in downtown Nashville.
My company works on the river. I have just found a dead body. I believe it to be Riley.
This was about 8 miles downriver from where Strain was last seen alive.
It's definitely got a person hair, black shirt, kind of like a white, muddy looking on the front. It's face down in the water. I actually had to move a log off of the head to confirm it was a body.
So how and why did Strain end up in the river? The preliminary autopsy report confirms what Metro Police Chief John Drake said, that there appears to be no evidence of foul play, and it looks to be a horrible accident. We don't yet know if water was found in Strain's lungs. Some suggest if none is found that Strain was dead before he went into the river. But the medical examiner tells me that is not definitive. A person struggling to breathe underwater can have a throat spasm that shuts off your airway. When that happens, no water goes into your lungs, and it's known as dry drowning. But that is only part of the medical examiner's investigation. They will also be testing Strain's blood. Security video did show Strain stumbling the night he disappeared. Now, Metro Police have viewed videos from bars Strain visited and say there appears to be no evidence he was drugged, but toxicology testing will be done to check his blood alcohol level and to see if there were any other drugs present. So for now, no clear evidence of foul play in Strain's death, though that could potentially change depending on the results of the final autopsy. Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
Nick, thank you. The final autopsy report with those toxicology results is expected sometime coming up next month.
You know, we've seen a lot of video of downtown Nashville and the places where Riley Strain.
So it's not gonna what, Victoria? You hear my cat? Yeah. Let's see. Looks like CJ is gonna go live at 8:45. What was the other? Oh, the bridge. I was like, Sorry, guys. He acts like a baby, too. All right. Here's the bridge video. This just was really shocking to me to watch. I have no idea if there's sound to this or if it's just a video, so. You know, they did say something that there wasn't any tugs guiding them through. Now that I think about it, there was one video I watched. He explained it really well. Let me see if I can find that while this one's playing. It was a really good look at my history. Must have been like a boat guy. Let's see, that was. Poor Elijah. Hold on a second. Thank you, Molly, if you can hear me. I don't know if I'm muted or not. I'm not. Night, Janet. I'm not too far behind, Jen. I was just thinking, I've been on here 2 hours and yep, it's about that time. So have a good night. I may be able to go live tomorrow, so maybe I'll see you tomorrow somewhere in YouTube land. Thank you for being here, hon. Victoria. I haven't seen one with the captain. Here's this one. Let me show you this. Hold on. Let me throw this one up here. This guy act like he used to be a captain, so maybe.
Hey, what's going on with Chipping? Sal Mercogliano.
All right, hold on, because I don't know if you have sound or not. You pull it down and. Okay. This guy explains a lot. He was really good.
Here this morning. So we've had an incident in the port of Baltimore involving the motor vessel Dolly outbound from Baltimore. I am just beginning to process the information and take a look at it, but I want to clarify something that I've been seeing that needs to be done. This is the video coming from the port of Baltimore. I'm going to go ahead and live stream it or replay it. This is Dolly coming out. Notice the ship just went dark. I'm going to come back here for a second. Go back here a second. Take you back about 10 seconds here. So she would have came off the berth at Dundalk here, and if you play back this video, you'll see that the ship is outbound, turning around the channel, comes off of Dundalk right here, goes out the channel, spins around, and is coming out. Now let's be clear. This is obviously the exit out. This is where she wants to come out. Go ahead and play it again. Here she is coming out. You'll see lights along her side. You'll see lights right here. That red light in the back is not her, but she goes dark all of a sudden. So now the ship is dark. You are not having any power on this vessel. The ship has basically dropped the plant. So when I initially heard about this happening, there was a lot of questions about, was this mechanical or was this human? This is obviously a mechanical issue in that they lost power. We're not sure why she lost power. So here she is. She is basically coasting at this point without any control. Now, if she had lost power, does that mean she lost her rudder? Did she lose propulsion? And the vessel was in the channel on the outbound leg. She was coming out. And you see her still kind of moving here very slowly down on the channel. Traffic up on the bridge is moving along, and the ship is just progressing slowly down the channel. So ship's still moving at this time, and then we see the power come back on. So you see the lights come back on. So she is able to get power back on at this moment. Oops, sorry, it's buffering here. So you got power now coming back on. She, once again, should have propulsion. She should be making way. Now, when you lose power on a ship, it is the worst feeling in the world. Everything goes quiet, goes dark. Now you start seeing black smoke coming out of the port funnel. So she is belching black smoke at this time. You can see it coming out right here. So this indicates, obviously, an engine problem. Now, what are they doing at this point? They may be backing down at this moment, trying to stop their forward progress. Now, the problem with backing down on a ship is that it is single prop. And what's going to happen is when you try to back down, the ship is going to start careening. It's going to start kind of pitching around. And what happens here, based on the track line that I saw in Marine Traffic, is the ship starts to go across the channel. She was basically in the middle of the channel, coming out right down in the middle. And now she's careening toward the right side. Notice more black smoke coming out. I saw a helicopter image this morning that showed that the port side anchor had been dropped. So what you would want to do is try to arrest the forward movement of the vessel. The problem with this whole scenario is this. If you start backing down on the ship, it's going to start twisting. If you just kept the ship going, stop the propeller, and use the rudder, you would have some control. But now the vessel is starting to veer out of the channel. And this is what we see. The ship starts crossing from the north side of the channel to the south side of the channel, and then eventually out of the channel entirely. And at the speed she's going, she is not able to stop her forward progress. So see the black smoke still coming out of the ship at this time. The ship now is coming out of the channel entirely. She would not have tugs on her. She would have had tugs to take her off the berth at Dundalk, but not once she was underway and had propulsion. This ship, Singapore flag, Singapore registered company. Dolly is one of these ships that basically is leased by the larger operating companies. So we're not exactly sure whose route she was on, what company she was servicing. She was out of Baltimore heading to Colombo. So she was heading down to the Panama Canal, and she was going to be heading across the Pacific. At this point, she is heading right for the pylons. And understand, once you take out a pylon on a bridge, that's it. These bridges are designed to rest on top of that pylon. She's going to sideswipe it. This is going to be the worst kind of bridge disaster in the United States since Tampa back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
And even if you drop the
Exactly,
anchors, which we
Virginia.
know she drops the port anchor,
It was like
looking at the image
looked like it was
from
built with
helicopters, the
Legos.
port anchor was not just dropped, but it was angling aft, meaning that it dragged. But at any sort of speed, it's not going to stop the vessel. She would have dropped. I'm not sure if she dropped the starboard anchor. That's
There
her
it
hitting right
goes.
there. You can see the big splash as she hits the piling right there. There are barriers around the pilings, but not enough, and that will cause the collapse and just the horror of this
Just
event taking place here.
wow.
And that is the tragedy right there.
Just wow.
So that is my quick assessment based on the video right there.
Okay, that's all we needed, sir. Thank you. I appreciate your assessment. Um, let's see. They said on our local news that they declared a mayday and slowed the traffic to a slight extent on the bridge. Oh wow. Molly sent me a video. Let me grab that real fast. It's about the workers because there was construction going on the bridge. Did I download it? What did I do? Getting sleepy. Let's see. Is this? Open. Let me see. Okay. Here's the video that Molly did. I backed it up, didn't I? God, I could not imagine. Could not imagine. So very, very sad. Can't imagine. Wow. That's a good point, Molly. Bridges only bother me if I have to walk across them. And that's only because if I drive, at least I can probably drive faster than I could run across it. NTSB updates investigation. The Baltimore, let's see. Really? Inside Edition, their title is How Could Maryland's Bridge Collapse Impact Drivers? How do you think it's going to impact drivers? Goodness gracious. So, I don't know if anybody else has updates. Looks like as of yesterday, there were 6 people missing following the bridge collapse. I don't know if there's been any update to that or not. Oh, they did find 2, it looks like. Actually.
hazardous materials. The total of 56 containers were there. Were those contents on what was in the actual?
Are there any other challenges you guys are facing outside of the hazardous material?
The question is on the challenges for our team. There's certainly a number of challenges. Today it was raining. I will say what it requires to go to the vessel. The MD TA police took us on a smaller vessel out to the container ship, and we are going up a Jacob's ladder outside of the vessel, all of us. And
I bet there's
once
not
we
one,
get up there,
Virginia.
there is a lot to traverse. It's raining, it's slippery. Of course, we have the hazardous materials. We have containers that are open. We certainly have structural damage everywhere. So we have to make sure that we have our safety gear, that we are focused on holding both handrails at the same time, and being safe in wet conditions, and it's cold. That can be very difficult. And so safety is a top priority. Certainly for us, it's a value for the NTSB, but it is very difficult. And I'll say, just being out there when the Baltimore City and Baltimore County Police today, who were doing a lot of the work on the recovery mission. I mean, it's cold. It's cold water. It's raining, and you have current and all sorts of waterway challenges. So it can be very dangerous. But listen, everybody is focused on the right thing, which is reuniting families with their loved ones. That has to be our main focus. Everything else in the investigation can wait. Certainly, we are doing what we can do, but that is everyone's focus right now. Thank you so much.
Does the ship have power right now?
Right now, it cannot move.
It has power. They're not sitting in the dark, right?
Yeah, they're not sitting in the dark right now, but it cannot move right now. That's a question on whether the ship can move. No.
Thank you.
All right, so there you saw NTSB Chairwoman Jennifer Homendy with the latest updates onto their investigation so far. All right, so a lot was said in there. We're going to unpack all of it with our friend, global shipping analyst Sal Mercogliano. He was standing by watching this alongside us as well, and he joins me. Sal, thanks so much. I can't thank you enough. We've been relying on your expertise to help make sense of this story. Let's go over some of the key highlights from what the NTSB just outlined there. 21 crew members, 2 pilots on board. I think from the kind of shipping novice, that's not that many people who man a massive ship like this.
No, it's not. And there's actually a discrepancy because the shipping line said there was 22 on board. So I'm interested in that, the actual clarification.
Yeah, and Sal, I wanted to ask you too. We know now 56 containers of hazardous materials. They include corrosives, flammables, miscellaneous items. They mentioned what's known as a Class 9. Some of the hazmat containers were also breached. That was a question I posed to you yesterday. We
Hey,
didn't
that's the guy
know
I
what were
watched a while
in
ago.
these cargo containers, and now we do. And some of them have been breached, and some of them has spilled over into the water.
Yeah, and so that's going to take obviously a hazmat team to come in to clean it. It's not unusual for hazardous material to be on a vessel. I mean, it could be medical waste. There's really no telling what this can be. We classify many materials. Gasoline is hazardous material. So the real big question here is to ascertain where it's at, and that's one of the big things I think you got toward the end of the press conference. Is the damage to the ship is quite severe. I mean, the ship is in, it's got a bridge landed on it, so there's severe damage to the vessel up forward. There's issues that are going to be associated in the salvage. I mean, you got to remember, you got to salvage the ship, you got to salvage the bridge, and then there's the land component. So there's a lot to go on here. But it was a really interesting talk by the NTSB. I also think you get from the NTSB the clarification here that the vessel data recorder is not an aircraft black box. So the amount of data you get from it is very limited. It's a big problem in the maritime industry that they really need to create new laws to get better data recorders so that when these incidents happen, we can better put these pieces back together again.
Sal, one of the main
Wow.
questions I had, a reporter had asked it because you talk about the moments the alarms kind of went off on the bridge, and there was only, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I heard this kind of from 1:24 to 1:26 in the morning, kind of a 2.5 minute window there, where the call went out to help to assist with tugboats, and then the power went out, to which the recorder lost some of the data. That's all they have because the power went out. So they were very quick in asking for help, were they not?
Oh, I think that is probably one of the big stories here is how quickly the pilots reacted to this. They started the mechanisms in place to do what they can. Remember, they weren't sure they were going to hit the bridge, so there may have been a moment when the ship was going to be loose. They wanted to get tugs. They wanted to get rescue craft en route to them. And we can't minimize enough the lives that were potentially saved on that bridge by sounding those warnings. Remember, 2 years ago, we had an incident with another ship coming out of Baltimore, Everforward, and that was found to be pilot error. So again, the pilots in this area are really trying to, once again, demonstrate their proficiency, and I think they did here.
I was trying to draw distinctions and similarities between what is an airport kind of black box or airplane black box recorder, so to speak, in the recorder on a ship like this. If you could, how are they different? They were kind of outlining some of those key differences. But to your point, not a lot of data is recorded and retrieved from something like this on the MV Dahlia. How much do you think that is going to inhibit the investigation going forward?
I think it limits it in certain ways. What they're gonna have to do is piece it together from other sources, and that's why the interview with the crew is very important. Interviewing the pilots, the captain, the chief engineers, all the personnel. Remember, this is an Indian crew, so that once they let them go, they're probably not going to be able to get them back. So they need to get as much information as they can now to put it together. They need to get into the records of the vessel. They need to talk to other countries that did inspections on this vessel. Need to talk to the classification society. This is a very intricate operation. It's one of the reasons why these investigations take such a long time, because you're going across international lines and the amount of data
You
is
said
just
it was an
absolutely
Indian
astronomical.
crew?
Yeah, Sal, we also kind of got a better sense of, why tugs were not kind of, maneuvering around it at the time, saying essentially, Hamidi was saying that, it was kind of past the point of no return for any tug assistance there. I thought this was interesting. Remember, they couldn't drop the anchor in time to stop the vessel, and we kind of got a better sense of why.
Yeah, I mean, the anchor takes time to drop. It's not like always prepped and ready to go, so it does take some moments. You have to think about dropping the anchor too, because it does commit you when you drop it, and so there is a decision window there. And so, 4 minutes isn't a lot of time when things are going bad.
Yeah.
And, we can look at it very easily and objectively from different, but, when everything's going, when the alarms are sounding, you're not exactly sure what the course of the vessel is going to be. It's really hard. And I think that TikTok that's going to be put together is going to be really essential. And that's why, unfortunately, the VDRs are really not the greatest at recording audios and really giving us everything we need.
You know, just lastly, Sal, we got a better sense of the, I guess, impact history, so to speak, of the bridge in question, the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Well, Victoria, he said that where they were in the channel, that they wouldn't have had tugs at that point. They were far enough out that they wouldn't have had tugs. In the other video that we watched with this same guy. You might have been sleeping then. I'm not sure. I did find an article. Let me see here real fast. There's a website called vesselfinder.com. Apparently you can, it's a ship tracking website. There was something about the from Panama to the Chesapeake Bay appeared uneventful. Records show the 9-year-old ship has had problems related to propulsion in the past. In June, inspectors at the port of San Antonio, Chile, discovered a problem categorized as relating to propulsion and auxiliary machinery, according to the Tokyo MOU, an intergovernmental shipping regulator in the Asia Pacific region. I am sure you do, Molly. You're a weirdo, but I love you. Oh, I think this is... just before the disaster, crew members aboard the Dali alerted authorities that the vessel had lost power, which prompted a rushed effort by authorities to halt vehicle traffic and evacuate people from the bridge. That Mayday warning is credited with saving numerous lives, Moore said, but it came too late to save workers who were repairing potholes on the span. Yeah, you and your flight radar and your ship finder, and you're just so goofy. Noni. Yikes. So it could have been a lot worse if they hadn't alerted authorities as quickly as they did. Unfortunately, it wasn't quick enough that they could save the workers. So rising 185 feet above the Patapsco River and left at least 6 people missing and 2 injured. I found this on at Party 5's bridge. Oh, wow. There was something. Let's watch this one real quick, and then I'll probably have to bring it down, guys. I'm getting sleepy. It's 9 o'clock here in good old Indiana. Just past
In the
my
water,
bedtime.
6 people are now presumed dead.
And
Past my bedtime, but I'm on vacation, so.
Picking up where the evening news left off, we begin with a breaking news update.
Can you guys hear that, or do I need to bring it down and redo it? That's good, Janet. I like that. Okay, good. Thanks, Noni.
Picking up where the evening news left off, we begin with a breaking news update involving the ship that hit a Baltimore bridge.
The images are surreal, including the sight of the mangled metal surrounding the ship. The remains of that bridge seen here coming to rest in the water.
Me
6
too,
people
Victoria.
are now presumed dead.
And here's the eerie aftermath. You can see the concrete ramp leading up to the bridge remains, leaving a road to nowhere.
Oh, I hadn't
CBS
seen
2's Sabrina
that.
Franza is monitoring late developments from the newsroom and joins us now live. Sabrina.
This is the worst possible outcome for these families. All day they watched as the Coast Guard flew over the collapsed bridge, searching in the sky and in the water for those missing people. It's not clear if anyone else was on the bridge at the time.
There's no new information about the search efforts.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore.
There's still an investigation going on about which vehicles that we have that was on the bridge. The thing that we know that we also can verify, though, is the quick work of public officials and law enforcement who kept more vehicles from coming onto the bridge. They undoubtedly saved innumerable amount of lives.
After a container ship struck a support column of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, it collapsed. The ship, which is registered in Singapore, had 22 crew members on board, all Indian nationals. Officials have said the container ship had a power issue before the collision. Someone made a mayday call.
This is an excruciating day for several families.
6 men who were part of a company's construction crew filling potholes are now presumed dead. According to the Baltimore Banner, the men came to the United States from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Mexico, all in a search for a better life for their spouses and their families.
The focus is on the families and the people. That is our main focus. That is everyone's main focus right now. The rest can wait.
The National Transportation Safety Board is looking into what caused this to happen. They have yet to even step foot on the ship, though, as they were making sure the Coast Guard had all the room they needed to continue looking for those unaccounted for. In the newsroom, Sabrina Franza, CBS 2 News.
Sabrina, thank you.
Yikes.
Well, tonight we are learning more about the efforts to clear the bridge before the collapse.
After the mayday call went out from the ship,
despite their
steering. I need one of you guys on the south side, one of you guys on the north side, hold all traffic on the Key Bridge. There's a ship approaching us, just lost their steering. So until you get that under control, we got to stop all traffic. I'm en route to the south side. I'm holding traffic now. I was dragging, but we stopped prior to the bridge, so I'll have all outer loop traffic stopped. 10-4, is there a crew working on the bridge right now? K9-1, but let me stop traffic on this site right now. Yeah, if we can stop traffic, just make sure no one's on the bridge right now. I'm not sure where. There's a crew up there. You might want to notify whoever the foreman is, see if we can get them off the bridge temporarily. 10-4, once the other unit gets here, I'll ride up on the bridge. I have all interloop traffic stopped at this time. Once you get here, I'll go grab the workers on the Key Bridge and then stop the outer loop. C-13 dispatch, the whole bridge just fell down. Start, whoever, everybody. The whole bridge just collapsed. Simple dispatch is direct. Do we know if all traffic was stopped? I can't get to the other side, so the bridge is down.
Oh my God.
We're going to have to get somebody on the other side, the Anne Arundel County MSP, to get up here and stop traffic coming northbound on the T Bridge. C-13, I'm holding all traffic northbound.
It's absolutely chilling. Governor Wes Moore has credited the swift response by those workers for saving additional lives from being lost in the collapse. 2 people survived. Crews are still searching for the 6 construction workers presumed to be dead.
Night, Janet. I'm good at that too. I'm like, I'm going to bed. My husband's like, okay, good night. A little bit later, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, playing. Need a snack, something. Oops. Oh, I feel for those people, yes. Yikes, that audio was horrible. I don't know what to say now. Yep. Good night. That's what we need to say. All right, guys, I do need to bring it down. Been almost 3 hours and I'm getting sleepy, and apparently everybody else is too. So I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow, sometime, somewhere in YouTube land. If not, have a great day. I love y'all, and I appreciate all of you being here. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys.